Welcome to the Hand and Power Tools training module. This module will cover the following topics: hand tools, power tools, tool safety, tool maintenance, tool do's and do nots, and operating guidelines. Tools are an integral part of everyday life, and often they are used without fully recognizing the potential danger they may pose. At work and at home, it is important to take great care to properly use and maintain all tools, as most tool-related accidents occur due to improper use or maintenance. It is important to pay close attention to the condition of tools before they are used, and to be aware of potential dangers in the work area before starting a job. For example, failure to take notice of the condition of a tool, such as a splintered shaft on a hammer, may result in the head flying off and injuring yourself or others. This course is designed to help inform you and raise awareness about some of the dangers associated with hand and power tools that many people work with every day. Hand tools are manually powered tools and include items such as screwdrivers, wrenches, saws, hammers, and axes. Hand tools, while not powered by an external source, can be dangerous if improperly handled or used to perform a task other than the manufacturer's intention. Never use a tool for something other than what it was intended, such as a screwdriver for a chisel or a wrench for a hammer. Never use an extender or a cheater bar to increase leverage or force. It is important to keep hand tools in good working condition through proper maintenance, and make sure to inspect all tools prior to each use. Blades on hand saws and knives should be kept sharp, and when used, should be directed away from other people working in the area. Wrenches should not be used when jaws are worn to the point that slippage occurs. If a tool has a splintered wooden handle, a cracked blade, or any other noticeable defect, it should not be used and taken out of service immediately. Power tools are classified by their power source and include 5 categories: electrical, pneumatic, liquid fuel, hydraulic, and powder-actuated. Some potential hazards are specific to the type of tool being used, and other hazards are general to all power tools. Most tools are designed with safety in mind. Manufacturers are careful to address safety issues in regard to their tools, and usually provide specific instructions for using tools in the manner for which they were designed. To help ensure that tools are designed and manufactured properly, OSHA has specified regulations in these areas, including guards, switches and controls, electrical grounding, and maintenance. The next sections will take a closer look at these regulations, as well as some of the specific hazards of using different types of power tools. Examples of electrical tools include power drills, power saws, and power grinders or cutters. Electrical tools introduce the risk of shocks. Electrical shocks, which can lead to heart failure and burns, are among the most serious potential hazards of using power hand tools. To help avoid electrical shock, OSHA specifies that all exposed, non-current carrying metal parts of tools that may become energized must be grounded. When working with electric power tools, pay attention to the following guidelines. Make sure power cords do not present a tripping hazard. Only work in well-lighted areas when operating electric tools. Store electric power tools in a dry place. Use gloves and appropriate safety footwear when operating electric tools. Examples of pneumatic tools include nail guns, jackhammers, and rock drills. Pneumatic tools are powered by compressed air, and they can cause injuries due to flying parts or attachments. Before you begin a job, start by checking to make sure that the pneumatic tools are fastened securely to the air hose to prevent them from becoming disconnected while in use. When working with pneumatic tools, remember the following. Make sure the air hose does not present a tripping hazard. Never point a compressed air gun at another person. Eye protection is required, and face and head protection is recommended when working with pneumatic tools. Wear additional personal protective equipment when appropriate. For example, working with a jackhammer would require wearing both safety shoes and hearing protection, along with standard eye and head protection. Only use the tool with the recommended air pressure. Examples of liquid fuel tools include chainsaws, lawnmowers, and pressure washers. Fuel-powered tools generally use gasoline. The most serious hazards presented by these tools are dangerous exhaust fumes and fuel vapors that can burn or explode. Proper ventilation, careful handling of the fuel, and attention to fire safety can safeguard against these hazards. Consider the following when working with liquid fuel tools. Always transport fuel in approved flammable liquid containers. Shut down the engine and allow it to cool before refilling a fuel tank. When using a liquid fuel tool in a closed area, effective ventilation or proper respirators must be utilized to avoid breathing carbon monoxide. Take notice of fire extinguisher locations. Always wear the proper personal protective equipment, which may include foot, eye, face, head, and ear protection. Examples of hydraulic tools include jacks and impact wrenches. Hydraulic power tools can present hazards when they are not used in the manner in which they were designed. Jacks are the most commonly used hydraulic tool. Never exceed the load limit marked on the jack and make sure it is set up on a firm and level surface. All jacks should be inspected at least once every 6 months. Jacks which are used outside the shop should be inspected before they go out and once again when they return. Also, any jack that may have been subjected to an abnormal load or shock should be inspected immediately. An example of powder-actuated tools is a concrete fastener. Powder-actuated tools use gunpowder and operate on the same principle as a firearm. Users should only handle powder-actuated tools with the same respect and safety precautions as they would a gun. These tools should never be pointed at another person. Powder-actuated tools are so dangerous that only specially trained and permitted employees may operate them. Suitable eye, ear, and face protection is required. Abrasive wheel tools are designed for grinding, cutting, polishing, and buffing, and can fit into various classes of power tools, including electrical, pneumatic, and liquid fuel, depending on the design. Abrasive wheel tools pose a significant threat to safety because they may throw off flying fragments. Before using an abrasive wheel tool, it should be inspected for damage or defects. When using abrasive wheel tools, remember the following guidelines. Make sure all safety guards are securely in place before operating. Always allow an abrasive wheel tool to come up to proper operating speeds prior to grinding or cutting. Never stand in the plane of rotation as the wheel accelerates to operating speed. Always use eye or face protection. Turn off the power when not in use. Never clamp a handheld abrasive tool in a vise. Be sure the attachment is the right size and is rated to withstand the RPM of the tool. The purpose of a guard is to provide protection against flying objects, as well as to prevent contact with moving and dangerous parts such as belts, gears, drums, and chains. If the guard for a power tool is missing or broken, do not use the tool. Remember the following when using powered tools with guards. Safety guards must never be removed when a tool is being used. All projections on exposed revolving or reciprocating edges must be flush or guarded. Tools with wheels, blades, sanding, and grinding parts must be guarded. Tools must be equipped with switches or controls that minimize potential hazards by automatically shutting off or powering down when not in use. Some examples include gasoline-powered chainsaws must be equipped with a pressure control switch that returns the engine to idling speed when released. Circular saws must be equipped with a constant pressure control switch that shuts off the power when pressure is released. Newer tools will generally have such features built in. However, a switch may malfunction or an older tool may not have the necessary protection. Always ensure that the tools you are using meet safety guidelines before beginning a job. Proper maintenance of tools is critical to avoiding potential hazards. Always assess the physical and mechanical condition of any powered, handheld tool prior to using it, and never use a defective or malfunctioning tool. If a tool is defective, immediately remove it from service, tag it for identification, and report it to your supervisor. Safe use of power tools is largely the responsibility of the operator. Your attention to safety and focus on the job at hand are critical. Using a power tool for a task or in a manner in which it was not designed can be dangerous for not only you, but everyone else in the vicinity. The next section will describe a general list of power tool do's and do-nots. The following is a list of things that should be done when working with power tools. Use tools that are ergonomically designed. An ergonomic design maximizes comfort while minimizing stress and fatigue to the body. Be aware of and respect the design limitations of the tool. Work in a well-lit area. Use the appropriate personal protective equipment. Disconnect power to a tool before attaching, installing, or adjusting accessories. Ensure that your hands are dry when plugging and unplugging cords and connected equipment. Use the correct shield, guard, or attachment recommended by the manufacturer. Clean, sharpen, and check tools for any damage that may have occurred during use. Store power tools in a dry, safe environment. The following is a list of things that should not be done when working with power tools. Never operate a powered tool without proper training. Never use electrical tools in a damp or wet area unless they are approved for those conditions. Don't use power tools in an explosive or flammable environment. Don't allow bystanders to assemble where any powered tools are in use. Don't use the electrical cord to raise or lower the tool. Don't fasten the cords with staples. Don't hang cords or hoses in such a way that it could damage the outer jacket or insulation, such as over screws or sharp edges. Employers are responsible for ensuring that tools and equipment used by employees, including those that are furnished by employees, are in safe working condition. However, employees are responsible for adhering to the documented regulations that address safety concerns. When working with tools, remember the following 5 basic safety rules that can help prevent accidents. 1. Keep all tools in good condition. Regular maintenance is critical to working safely with hand tools. 2. Use the right tool for the job. Making do with an unsuitable tool can lead to both frustration and harm. 3. Inspect your tool before each use and never use a damaged tool. 4. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for using the tool. 5. Always use the appropriate personal protective equipment for the job. Hand and power tools are important parts of many people's duties at work and even at home. Following appropriate guidelines and practices will help reduce or eliminate injuries and encourage a safe and productive future.